So welcome to Lorato TV. How are you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. So we coming your way with the updates we promise you. Ghana's election.
Former President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has won the presidential election decisively.
So all too soon we coming to gradually the end of the elections in Ghana. You know, as I promised you, the Electoral Commission is here to declare the results, but from all indications, it has shown clearly that the NDC is winning. The NDC is winning. The NDC is just like the umbrella UDC in Botswana. The NDC also is the umbrella. They are winning the election. So, to that effect, the presidential candidate of the new Patriotic Party called the incoming president, or the former president, because you know that the presidential candidate of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, happened to be a former president. You know, he did 4 terms and he was kicked out of power 8 years ago. Now he is the one who has been really elected by the people, because the people are realizing that we are in economic crisis as a country. They are like, no, he's experienced, let's give him another chance. They realize that he did better than even those people who came as economic messiahs to salvage the country from the economic quagmire, the economic crisis we found ourselves. So-called economic messiahs were proposed to us and we voted for them, thinking that they'll do better than they couldn't do better. So the presidential candidate of the new Patriotic Party called the incoming president to wish him, to congratulate him, and also wish him all his support and his cooperation as far as the transition is concerned.
I have just called His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to congratulate him as President-elect of the Republic of Ghana.
So that is where we are now. Yesterday, 7 December, the people decided to exercise their democratic right. Unfortunately for the NPP, the Ghanaians decided to say no in a very resounding way, to say no, we don't need you. You have taken us for granted for a long time. You have not been listening to us. You have mismanaged the economy. You couldn't go by your promises because you told us that you are going to make the economy better, and you came out with all the lectures and you failed us. And so the people are like, no, we don't want you. So if you look at the kind of provisional results, it is clear that the people said no. And that is why they, the new Patriotic Party, looking at the data from their own internal staff, said, no, we concede defeat. We can't go, we know we are not going to win. And the presidential candidate conceded. And he said that, no, looking at the data, our brothers from the other side, they have been given the nod by Ghanaians in a very resounding way, so we concede a defeat.
Former President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has won the presidential election decisively.
So that's what happened. So Ghanaians have decided to, as it were, say no to the NPP, and they are saying yes to the NDC. So why are Ghanaians saying no to the NPP? I think NPP were doing well from the beginning, very well. And the COVID hit, boom. And when the COVID hit, which I think all over the world, we are all suffering, we are all coming back from. Instead of them to be open to the situation and how they are managing it to Ghanaians, they were not open. And so the minister, at a point, even the finance minister was asked by his own, those parliamentarians from their own camp, they went to the president to say, sack the finance minister.
I think Ken feels strongly, and he himself articulated it, that as proud Ghanaians will never go to the IMF or the World Bank. If indeed that is what he believes, then why would we rely on him to negotiate our dealings with the World Bank and IMF, who he himself is on record as stating he does not believe in?
The finance minister must go. He must go, and go now. We don't want him. He's a disaster to this country. I'm just indicating you, given the level of legendary incompetence that the finance minister has shown.
Because if MPs don't want finance minister, we cannot be blaming Nana Akufo-Addo. We have the power to use 183 ministers, 83 MPs to impeach him. He has messed everything.
But the finance minister, so related to the president said no, the president did not sack the finance minister until things became worse before he decided to lay him off. as at the time the economy was down. So it was not easy. And not only that, there were so many haircuts. There were so many people who could not access their money, especially the elderly. That's what pains some of us.
One, I find this wicked, I find it disrespectful, I find it unlawful, I find it totally wrong, period. Because you don't solve your problems by sacrificing your aged.
The elderly who work so hard their whole life working, and they were thinking that, okay, when we retire, we're going to use our money to take care of ourselves and all of that. They could not have access to their money because there was a haircut or whatever they call it. They could not have access to their money. As a result, some could not afford medicine, and some died as a result of that.
The national insurance system has virtually collapsed. The elderly are buying their medications at normal commercial prices. And I know a lot of people who have told me that they have timed the way they did their investments so that at least every month there's something for them to be able to cover their medical bills.
Not only that, they crippled some banks. Some banks were crippled. People could not get their money back. It was so sad. As I said, people became sick and they died as a result of that because they lost their monies. They could not have access to their monies. So these are some of the things that happened, and the arrogance. Oh my goodness. They became some of the ministers, some of the leaders became so arrogant. They were not listening to people. And then we go to the parliament, look at what happened recently. There was something they call the state capture. It's been alleged that the president captured the state institutions. So all the state institutions are becoming extension of the government, like judiciary becoming extension of the executive. The legislature was fighting with the judiciary and the executive. So the arms of government there was all over that fight, and at a point, even when you take your case, people believe that even when we take our case to the courts, because it's already captured by the government, there's nothing we can do. So it became so weird that things were not going on well, and so people were not happy. He didn't sack him recently before the finance minister was sacked. So these are some of the things that happened. People were not happy. You see, in time of crisis, the leaders would take some measures. They have to sacrifice. No sacrifice. They were taking their allowances, they were taking their salaries and all of that. No cuts. Flying expensive, flights, planes. So there were scandals all over the cathedral staff building, using the state's money, taxpayers' money, without informing them to build oh my goodness. So a lot happened. People were not happy about a lot of things. So Ghanaians are saying enough is enough. Go and reason and come back again. The presidential candidate of the new Patriotic Party was proposed from the beginning of Akufo-Addo's government that he is the economic wizard or wizkid or messiah. He's going to help me rebuild the economy, the resilience and all of that. Ghanaians voted for him. He came, nothing happened. Beginning they tried, when the COVID hit, boom, and the Ukrainian, whatever war, all these wars. We know we are all struggling, but as a leader, you have to be genuine about what is going on. You have to sacrifice, make the sacrifices. We see that you are sacrificing. And they were having their own internal conflicts in terms of transition. Who will be the next president? So all these things cripple them. They knew that they would go to opposition. So they decided to take a very arrogant position. Instead of them accepting their responsibility, instead of them be humble, not all, some decided to take arrogant position. And it didn't go well. Pursuing people, and some of the institutions that are supposed to be talking, they captured them. They were all captured, so they could not talk. People were like in prison, captivity. Now, when the election was drawing near, some of the projects, they started opening up, this, that, and Ghanaians were laughing like, oh, you have no idea what we have in our mind. You don't know what we are going to do to you. Some of the road, they started doing that. The road that were left 8 years. So this game of politics, people were not perturbed. People were like, oh, we wait for that day. And yesterday they used it and they kicked MPP out of power. NPP is kicked out of power. And they kicked them. It was a brutal kicking, so brutal. So if you look at it, if you look so far the provisional result, you look, it's just like that of BDP. Yeah, the same thing happened to MPP. So that's what happened basically. things which I think those who are coming in to learn is that don't joke. And why did they vote for Mahama, who was also voted out before? Because they realized, when they compared the records, they realized that he was doing better than these people who promised us that they'll come and do better. The people realized that Mahama was doing well. So it was kind of unfortunate that we kick him out, because at the time of Mahama there was doomsday or light out, but he tried fixing it before leaving. So these people came, they couldn't maintain. So we're still having some doomsays, light out here and there. But they realized that no, in terms of trial record, he did better. And also experience, now that we are in this economic mess, we know that with his experience already, just like Trump, he will come and take us out of this whole mess. And he promised also 24 hours economy that is practiced in Singapore or whatever, some countries. He said that he's going to introduce that. So that was a game changer, the reason why he's voted by the people. So if he comes and he messes up, I think they'll kick him out also. So that is it basically with the situation in Ghana. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.